Hi, ich bin Neo. Du suchst ferngesteuerte Modelle? Da bist du hier, genau richtig. RC Fox liefert dir eine mega Auswahl. Ich liebe es, im Dreck zu bashen, auf der Rennstrecke zu performen und Felswände zu erklimmen. Im Wasser bin ich zwar noch kein Pro, aber kurz davor. Wow, was macht denn mein Flieger da? Unser Chef bestellt Tag für Tag neue Ware. Und wer räumt's ein? Ich. Bei uns bekommt ihr die Produkte hunderter Hersteller, egal ob ihr Profis seid oder absolute Beginner. Karosserien, Farben, elektronisches Equipment, Akkus, Reifen. Hier gibt's einfach alles an Zubehör. Ob der Kunde weiß, dass es über 80 km/h fahren kann? Wenn nicht, ich mach sie mal vor.
Wow! Hey Neo, echt jetzt?
Sorry, aber hey, Freddy hat gesagt, ich muss Gas geben. Das Paket muss heute noch raus. Wir verschicken jeden Tag hunderte von Paketen, damit ihr schrauben, basteln und Spaß haben könnt. Ihr habt eine Frage oder es klappt was nicht wie gewünscht? Unser Serviceteam ist für dich da. So, jetzt kennt ihr uns. Wir aber euch noch nicht. Also, kommt vorbei. Oder besucht uns online unter www.rcfox.de.
Good morning, buongiorno, bom dia. Hello to everyone from Brazil to Sweden who are in the chat already and have been waiting to see what happens during this finals day here in Fiorano, Italy for the EFRA Large-Scale On-Road European Championships 2022. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here. We are EFRA RC Motorsport Europe, and got the control team in the tower and on the driver's stand as we're seeing the first final of the day get started. And drivers are getting instructions about impending stop-and-go penalties that are going to happen for a couple of racers in this one quarterfinals B, or the B finals, make it sound a bit better, I think. And those stop and go penalties are because they've changed their engine. Racers are intended to use one engine for all of qualifying and the finals. So those drivers will come in during the race. And in this one, we've got Stefan Strasser, Rick Vanderboel, Marco Harleman, Jan Rathieski, Sven Rodewald, Adam Westholm, Michael Weiser, Nuno Pinto, Sammy Pajalan, and Neo Lebescond. So they are on their formation lap right now. I'm going to attempt to get a better view. There's a nice little interview on the Instagram account for EFRA, EFRA.ws Instagram, with young Neo, who's starting from the 10th position. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on screen, but we are going to concentrate on the top three or four racers in this one. And in less than 10 seconds already, we are starting the B finals right now. And they're off in number order so far. No major mistakes. Oh, we got a little bit of a turnaround. A couple of cars coming together. but that's just at the back of the grid. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all in a row. Freight training around the track, around the last corner. Down the main straight they go. And in order, it is Stefan, Rick, Marco, and Jan is your top 4. And the drivers that need to do their stop and go are already being told by Javier, our race referee, as the number 2 car of Rick Vanderbilt gets a little squirrely in the braking into the first hairpin. So we're going to be showing the battle for, let's follow these 3rd, 4th, and 5th cars, because we've got a battle for 3rd already. That 3rd bump up spot is the last bump up spot that is going to be going into the semifinals, which come up in a couple hours' time. The 4 getting past the 5. Nuno Pinto in that 8, that blue 8. Oh, he's getting hit by, was that Sammy? No, it wasn't Sammy. It was one of our, it was our Lightning McQueen car giving him a little nudge as he was slow getting back on track. So let's see how this has sorted itself out. We've got Strasser, Vanderbilt, and Rathieski up into 3rd now. Nuno Pinto in the blue car in 4th. So let's concentrate on the blue car and the car in front of it. That's our battle for 3rd. As they're coming into the infield and around the Omega and across the kink, that is actually our battle for 2nd, is the 4 and 8. So Vanderbilt, where has he dropped down to? Something has happened to Vanderbilt. So Nuno Pinto actually running 3rd, but this is our closest battle on track. So let's stick with these guys, because something may happen early on. These racers going for 20 minutes at a time in these quarterfinals. 25 minutes for the F1 semifinals, 30 minutes for the semifinals in touring car. So are the cars set up for an early getaway, or are they set up for late race pace? We shall see. So you can just see flashes of the battle for 4th place behind. That has kind of sorted itself out for the moment. For 5th, with the car 5 of Sven Rodewald. So let's try and zoom out just a bit so we can see that bright greeny yellow car. He's catching up to Nuno Pinto rapidly as they're coming around the Omega and into the first hairpin. You can see him right there already. Nuno Pinto gets away. So that is Rodewald. Oh, now we got a big battle going down the main straight. Got Rodewald, the orange car. I didn't get the number on it. And, oh, Pinto. What is going on with his car? He's all over the grass. So now we've got a massive change here coming into the second hairpin. Battle for 2nd is 4 cars at the moment. We got Vanderbilt back up there, Rathieski, Rodewald, and Westholm. 4 cars battling for 1 place. It's not going to work out for at least 2 of these cars. This is the battle for 2nd, and only 2 of these cars are going to bump up at the moment. We got Stefan Strasser in the yellow car way ahead of these guys, and we've got Vanderbilt rocketing away from this group. He did qualify 2nd, so he is, at least during qualifying, he was just a bit faster than these other guys. Car 4 of Rathieski and Adam Westholm behind him in the 6. And Rodewald in the 5 going down the main straight. So let's stick with this group of 3 now, because only one is going to succeed getting into the bump up. Stefan Strasser already coming up on lap traffic, about a quarter lap ahead of these guys. We're not too concerned with him unless he crashes into him. I'll keep an eye on things there. But these 3 cars coming into the infield and around the Omega and across that kink into the first hairpin, into the second hairpin. Rathieski holding off Westholm in the Lightning McQueen all-red car. He does have the Lightning McQueen eyes on the windshield strip as well. Rodewald creeping up on Lightning McQueen there in the 6. Staying in place. No one making any massive dives on Rathieski just yet. This is the battle for a 3rd. Coming into the Omega, Rethieski makes mistakes, gets a little wild, throws off Westholm, and that allows Ronevald to get past him. And now it is a 5-car battle for third. So let's see if we can try and get all of these cars in shot. We do. Jude McCallum up on the rostrum, providing some excellent camera work for us. Nuno Pinto getting wild again, so he's taking himself out of this battle slightly. Lightning McQueen also getting a little bit wild there. It's Westholm. It's getting a little spread out now, but Rethieski still in the third spot in the number 4 car. Rodewald in that 5. So it looks like it's maybe coming down to just these two. Rethieski, we saw him win the European Championship for Formula One electric touring car, or electric Formula One, 1/10 at the Hudi Arena, and Rodewald going for a dive. This is going to be a very interesting battle here because that has slowed them both up and allowed the white and blue car, the number 7 of Weiser, up in there. So for the first time, he's making a serious challenge. Number 6 of Westholm, and then Nuno Pinto following behind. But if Rodewald is able to slow down Rethieski, or vice versa, that is going to allow Weiser to get past. So these guys having to be very careful. Obviously, this is the only battle happening on track, all in the same area of the track. So I'm sure Javier, our race referee, EFRA president, is watching these guys very intently to make sure that there's none of the usual crazy touring car action, as Sammy spits up some, almost crashes into the timing tower here. So now it gets very interesting. These guys are all coming up to lap Neo Lebescond, one of our youngest racers, one of our young guns. He's only 10, and he's racing in the quarterfinals of the European Championship. So he gets by. He lets these guys by. The little bit of a disagreement between Weiser and Westholm. So they have dropped right back down. Nuno is now trying to get on the tail of Rodewald. Nuno in that blue car, but we're concentrating on the number 4 and 5 of Rethieski and Rodewald. It's Germany versus Germany. So Rodewald playing it very either cautious, sensible, trying to force Rethieski into a mistake, or just waiting for the traction. Nuno Pinto suddenly is rocketed right up to them. So now it's back to a 3-car battle, but we've seen Pinto kind of crash himself out a few times already in this race, so let's see what happens here. He gets a little wild, gets on the grass, and then loses traction and drive for about a half a lap. It's coming around commentator's corner and down the main straight into that first corner. Around the hut corner. Ooh, Rethieski gets a little wild, so that lets Rodewald by. Oh, and Nuno Pinto gets in the back of Rethieski, so now Rethieski's at the back of that 5-car train. So one mistake, and he loses 4 positions. Rodewald, now he's going to have to try and make a gap. He is now in the 3rd position. Final bump-up spot. Comes around, and he's got Weiser almost. He's one of the fast movers in this group as well. Nuno Pinto from the 8, he's bumped up from yesterday's 8th finals. And I see some body damage on the back of Rodewald's car. So is that going to be slowing him down? I think it is, because Weiser is already on him. So this is going to get very hot indeed. We've got Rodewald, Weiser, Pinto, and Westholm. Westholm just passing Pinto. Rethieski trying to put down some hot laps and catch up to this battle, because we're probably going to get a mistake or two out of Pinto and Westholm. And if he's close enough, he can capitalize on that and make a pass. I don't think the body damage is the left rear bumper on Rodewald's car looks like it's caught up either on the chassis, but it doesn't look like it's rubbing. It doesn't look like it's rubbing on the tire. But they are coming up on the 9 and 3 cars of Pajalin and Harleman. Pajalin, our Finnish racer, bumped up from the 1/8 finals. And now we've got 2 cars that this whole train need to lap. So let's see how cleanly. And it's not very clean at all, because who went off the track there? That was Weiser. Weiser and the 3 car. It's tragedy. So Rodewald into the first corner, followed very closely by Westholm, I think. Is that our Lightning McQueen car? No, it's not. Oh, Nuno Pinto getting up in there. So it's now Westholm. And the Lightning McQueen is in the 3rd spot. Rathieski has capitalized on all this carnage, and now he's up into 4th. So if he can lay down some fast laps, he can move from 4th into 3rd, potentially. And we'll see. He gets Rodewald getting rescued from the middle of the Omega, and he's almost a lap down to all these racers. So who are we on? We are on Rathieski. So let's stick with him. Just ahead of him by a corner or 2 is Westholm, because Rathieski has the pace to definitely catch up to Westholm. Ahead of these guys is the unfortunate Rodewald in the 5 car, and I can visibly see that Rathieski is definitely catching up to the 6 car. So previous gap was 1.8. Let's see what it is now. It's a lot less now. It's 1.7. I think it was 2.8. Now it's 1.7. So it looks like it's already heating up, and he is almost on the back of him. Where are we at here? Not quite on the back of him. I was watching a different cars. Morning sun confusing me at the far end of the track. So as they're going around the Omega and across the kink into the first hairpin, let's see what the gap was last time. 13.2 to that's 1.5. See what it is now. It stays about the same. So Rathieski not making up the ground, not making, massive crash on the back straight, car flipping but landing on its wheels. The champion's roll, lucky for him. So Rathieski chasing down, or attempting to, chasing down Westholm from Sweden. Let's see what the gap comes down to this time. Or if it does move, it's up to 2.4. So it seems to be hovering between that 2 to 2.5 second area. So let's move forward 1 car to the red Lightning McQueen car, just coming into the infield and around the Omega. This is Adam Westholm from Sweden. And if the flag were to be dropped now, he would be bumping up into the semifinal. So another glory run for Lightning McQueen. But he's coming up on lap traffic. So we've got Neil Lebescond. He's only 10, but he knows what he's doing on track. Easily lets Adam by as he goes into the infield, catching up to Sven Rodewald, who's currently running 7th place, who is not slow, so himself, because he was battling for the 3rd spot that Westholm is currently occupying. We just had a really bad turn of events, and he is a lap down and about to be lapped by Adam, who is in that number 4 car that we're watching, or 95, depending how you see it. Sven gets a little squirrely ahead of him, so he makes up a bit more space on him. So he may be running a Cars-themed car. Alfa Romeo is the preferred choice of vehicle, well, body shell, I should say, here at the European Championships. But just because it's a cartoon-based paint scheme, he's no slouch on track. Adam Westholm, he is now gapping Rathieski by, is that 3.5 seconds now, I think. Rathieski definitely losing. He's almost the entire, from, I think it's a full straight down now. He was only half the straight. So yeah, by the time Rathieski starts accelerating out of the final corner, Westholm is already into the first corner. So he's definitely increasing. So maybe Rathieski's car has come away from him. We've got 4 minutes left in this one. Strasser, Vanderbilt, Westholm, Strasser and Vanderbilt. We haven't even shown these guys, the number 1 and 2 cars, just running consistent laps and seemingly safe. So while everything is kind of settled down, let's see if we can find the number 2 car. He's the orange car just coming into the second hairpin now, Jude. And around commentator's corner is the third of 3 cars going down the main straight. There we are. That's Rick Vanderbilt from the Netherlands. Just finished his 51st lap. He's only 4 seconds behind Stefan Strasser, but he's not being challenged from behind. He's not challenging for the lead. He's just in the middle of some lapped cars. So he's just taking it easy. 3 minutes to go before he's able to claim the bump up into the semifinals. We'll follow Rick for a few laps here, and then we'll move to Stefan in the yellow car, who is our current leader. So we've got Strasser, Vanderbilt, and Westholm going to be taking the bump-up spots. Westholm starting from the 6th spot, and this race has been one of the better races. We've got, oh, no. I was going to say we have a dead Nuno Pinto car in the first hairpin, but he was just paused for a moment. So Rick Vanderbilt going around the Omega across the kink into the first hairpin. One of the few single color paint jobs that we have here. The next one is 1 car ahead, which is our leader going into the Omega just now. And across the kink, he's about to come up on Sammy in the black car. As they come into the second hairpin, around commentator corner. The nice thing about Stefan's car, yes, it's a 1 color scheme, but the EFRA, the official EFRA number plate that everyone must use, it's the perfect match of color for the EFRA paint, EFRA sticker, the number sticker. So that number 1 just blends right in. It's perfect. So let's move up 1, Jude, to the yellow car. Yep, there we are. This is Stefan from Austria. I know we had some. I think we had a couple of different Austrian racers or viewers in the chat yesterday. So thank you for everybody that's joined us. So I've been watching the racing. So as this race is winding down, we've got a minute to go. We still have Strasser, Vanderbilt, and Westholm. Rathieski is now 4.5 seconds or more behind. So hello, Pierre. Hello, RB8 Bom dia from Brazil. Go Sammy. Yes, Pecco, we're going to be seeing you next week. I'm sure we can. We'd love to have you in the timing hut to chat with you, as Strasser is coming up on Rodewald, who was previously challenging for 3rd in this race. Thank you, Jonathan Wolf. Great coverage as always. Thanks, RC Racing TV. Thank you for attending. Be sure to share this stream with your friends who are also RC fans. And later on, we'll be having a really cool live studio show that will hopefully introduce large-scale RC to your non-RC friends. Friends who are just into motorsport or cars in general. There's so many full-size car nuts who are just really unaware of how complex and amazing the RC racing can be. As Strasser gets past Rodewald as Rodewald spun out a bit there. So maybe his tires are coming off. And everybody has finished. And that is it. There we go. There's our results. Strasser, Vanderbilt, and Westholm bumping up into the semifinals. So we have a little bit of a gap now to 9:40 local time. That's Central European time for the 1/4 A. So I'll get out that finals sheet. Tara Evenin. Hello, Tara. I told Matt yesterday that I'd be mentioning, if you were able to pop in, I'd be mentioning socks, because I'm a fan of socks. I'm wearing my Porsche Pink Pig socks today. I was wearing my Alitalia themed socks the first day that we were here because, you know, Italy and all that. Abgas Stevie, morning from Austria. If you're in the Graz Spielberg fairing area, Abgas, you're welcome to stop down next week at the fairing track, where we are going to be broadcasting live the large-scale off-road Euros. It'll be quite cool. So just going to swap to one of our stationary cameras. There we go. I pressed some buttons and nothing exploded, so that's cool. So in the next race, we've got our friend Alessio Mazzeo, who we had a brief chat with yesterday before he realized, the race that's out now, that's the guys are on track, I'm meant to be mechanicking for my friend who's racing. So he had to rush out yesterday, but we had a brief chat with him. Well, I'm brief, like 15 minutes. Got some good information. It's always good to talk with these guys who are, you know, basically at the bleeding edge of pro racing. So it's quite interesting. We had an even longer chat. I think it was close to an hour with Hessel Roskam. So that was quite interesting to talk with him for quite a while about all sorts of things dealing with large-scale touring cars. I believe he used to do off-road, but he doesn't currently. So yeah, Hessel will be in the semis coming up later. Those start at 11:40, and that will be done during our live show. In the 1/4 A finals, we've got Alessio Mazzeo starting from pole in that one. Sasha Klug, Adam Isse, Kevin Tolinars, Matthias Domig, Andrea Maestri, Michael Donovan. Luca Rowley is our first of the bump-ups. And Mario Dada is the next. And then Christian Weber. So we got a bit of a break. So I will, let's see. Do I waffle or do I take a little break? I'm going to, a carbonated vegetable extract-based drink of the Red Persuasion was just presented to me. So I will take a brief break. And let's see here. And we'll come back just before 9:40 local time. So it's Central European time.
Ich bin Neo. Du suchst ferngesteuerte Modelle? Da bist du hier genau richtig. RC Fox liefert dir eine mega Auswahl. Ich liebe es, im Dreck zu bashen, auf der Rennstrecke zu performen und Felswände zu erklimmen. Im Wasser bin ich zwar noch kein Pro, aber kurz davor. Wow, was macht mein Flieger da? Unser Chef bestellt Tag für Tag neue Ware. Und wer räumt's ein? Ich. Bei uns bekommt ihr die Produkte hunderter Hersteller, egal ob ihr Profis seid oder absolute Beginner. Karosserien, Farben, elektronisches Equipment, Akkus, Reifen. Hier gibt's einfach alles an Zubehör. Ob der Kunde weiß, dass es über 80 km/h fahren kann? Wenn nicht, ich mach sie mal vor.
Wow! Hey Neo, echt jetzt?
Sorry, aber hey, Freddy hat gesagt, ich muss Gas geben. Das Paket muss heute noch raus. Wir verschicken jeden Tag hunderte von Paketen, damit ihr schrauben, basteln und Spaß haben könnt. Ihr habt eine Frage oder es klappt was nicht wie gewünscht? Unser Serviceteam ist für dich da. So, jetzt kennt ihr uns. Wir aber euch noch nicht. Also, kommt vorbei. Oder besucht uns online unter www.rcfox.de.
Okay, so we are getting ready. You can hear the glorious sounds and smells of two-stroke outside. I'm sure we have plenty of two-stroke fans in the viewing audience. Viewing? The viewing audience. The vaudience, yes. The viewdience. So, welcome back, everybody. We are just getting ready for the 1/4 A finals. As I mentioned before, we've got Matseo, Klug, Itse, Tolinars, Domig, Maestri, Donovan, Rowley, Dada, and Weber are our last three racers. They bumped up from the 1/8 finals, 1/8 A finals. That were actually, they were the last racers on track yesterday. So they're actually warming up now. You can see the cars coming through the first corner and second corner, getting a little wild there. We've got a couple static cameras that we'll be cutting to during the main finals. Should be very exciting. And that's during our live studio show that's going to be starting just after the F1 semi-A final, or semi-final A. And there's our drivers and their countries that they are representing. We've got Italy, Australia, France, Switzerland, Italy, Germany, a couple more Italians, and another German. And they are, well, they're just starting to warm up, so it's no big rush. With these guys getting used to the track conditions, making sure their engines are warmed up nicely. The tires are already going to be quite warm because they've been set on tire warmers probably all morning. So they're allowed electric tire blankets, just like Formula One. So while we're waiting for them to pull into the pits to start their formation lap. Just like to thank RC Fox and rcmodels.co.uk. That's RC Models with a Z or Z, for bringing you this free coverage all week long from Fiorano, Italy, just outside of Modena. So some iconic names there if you're a fan of motorsport. Home of Ferrari. Fiorano full-size circuit is just a mile or so away from us, so a couple of kilometers. And we're actually going to be popping over there tomorrow, so it'll be quite interesting. Some of the racers, we tried to catch them for interviews yesterday. It's like, oh, no, they're at the Ferrari Museum. So, well, it's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Well, we're going to be getting some tickets for that tomorrow ourselves, so it'll be quite good. So we are on live on EFRA Facebook page, on the EFRA Facebook page, RC Racing TV Facebook page, and Red RC Facebook. And on YouTube, you can find us on the channels of EFRA, RC Racing TV, Red RC, and for the first time, Polestart TV. So hello to everyone watching on all of the different channels. And of course, feel free to join in the chat, share the links of whatever you're watching, share them with your friends, or if you're in the pits at your own RC race this weekend, prop up your phone or tablet or whatever you're watching on and let your fellow pitmates watch the racing action here from Fiorano. So we're just going to attempt, just give us a moment here, we're going to play in a little bit of a montage. Okay, and we are back. Just like to get some practice of that little intro montage because we will be playing that during the final show. So as you can see, the racers are already on the stand. The mechanics are in the pits. The cars are in the pits. And Teodoro from Amski, the Italian RC Federation, is about to let them out onto the track for the formation lap. And you can see that now. Alessio leading them out, and they are in number order. So they're just like in Formula One and other full-size motorsport. They are, tires are already warmed up pretty much. The engines are warmed up because they've been sat and revving and going around doing their warm-ups. Alessio getting his, doing a good job getting his brakes warmed up there. I'm not sure if that's actually required. I know some of them are using actual carbon fiber brakes. A lot of them are using fiberglass discs. And we're about 10 seconds away from starting this race. 5 seconds. And they're off. Everyone off to a decent start. Alessio and Klug close together. No crashes at the back. So Alessio and Klug, followed by Itze. Let's follow the. Let's let Alessio, the first two cars go by. We'll watch the second pair of cars. Ooh, Klug, a little mistake there, so it puts him in the clutches of Itze slightly. So let's watch this. The third and fourth cars mostly in this one because it's the top three cars to bump up in this. Alessio hoping he can stretch out a lead. And car 9 stranded on the grass. It's Mario Dada, his mechanic out there. Doesn't seem to be running. So got Klug, we've got Mazzio, Klug, Itze, and Tolinars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Domig in the 5. Donovan in the 7. Little swap there. We've got Rowley now. Donovan. Oh yeah, Donovan's is the one who had to pull off. Dada. Oh no, Donovan also didn't see him crash. Someone's in the pits though. So we are on the, I believe that's the 3. No, it's the 4. So this one getting pretty stretched out already. Got Maceo, Klug, Itze, Tolinars, Domig, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order. And they have got a massive gap to the number 8 of Rowley, who is our first of the bump ups. 5 cars all stretched out. You can see them all there. Oh, almost a pass for third. So let's follow this battle with some intent as they go into the first corner. That's Itze and Tolinars. Itze in the lead car, I believe. Still, yes. Just see the numbers are massive, but the track is also massive. So, Domig keeping his distance at the moment, not wanting to get caught up in case these guys come together or crash or spin out, but ready to leap at the opportunity to take third place and the last of the bump-up positions, as cars 1 and 2 of Mazzeo and Klug are getting a little close together, probably a little closer than Mazzeo would like. If those two work together and not try to pass and bump each other, they won't slow each other down and fall into the clutches of Itze and Tolinars as they both go into the first corner, into the hut corner, into the infield, around the Omega, across the kink, into the second hairpin, and around commentator's corner, across the start-finish line. Now there's 2 loops, 2 timing loops. The tricolore that you can see just at the start of the pit straight is the main loop, and then there's a solid white line, which is the backup loop. You can see it just as they're crossing it now. So we're on Itze and Tolinars. The battle for third, it looks to have stretched out just very slightly. Mazzeo and Klug getting past the first of the lapped cars. The number 8 of Rowley, Weber, has pulled off. Dada is back on to get 1 lap so far. Klug is not letting go of Mazzeo. But we're concentrating on this battle for third, because at any moment someone can go just a bit wide, take the wrong braking line, the wrong braking point, or the wrong line into a corner and go a little bit wide on the marbles. There are marbles and dust out on the track. I don't know if it was blown off this morning, but is so sticky out there that if you come offline, you're in the dust. And the line is maybe about half a meter wide, or about 18 inches if you're watching from the States. Ooh, a little bit of squirrely line there from Itze, so Tolinar is closer, and they're both coming up on the lapped car of Rowley. Let's see what happens. Luca will be informed in the next couple of turns by Javier, our race referee. Tolinar takes a wide line coming out of commentator's corner and loses a couple of car lengths. So it really matters on these on this track for these cars. You wouldn't think that it would, but it actually really does. So Rowley letting them both by 2 consecutive hairpins. So they are clear of the first lap car. Mazzeo and Klug are about to come up on the 7 of Michael Donovan and put him a lap down. And Klug is even closer to Mazzeo than Tolinar's, who we're watching in the white and yellow car, is to Itze in that pink and blue and white car. Klug is stuck like glue. It's as if there's just a very short bungee cord holding his front bumper to Mazzeo's rear bumper. But we're concentrating on this battle for third. Tolinar's another bad entry into the into the Omega and a wide line into the first hairpin. That puts him well off. Now he's half on the AstroTurf and commentator's corner, so he's lost several car lengths now. So let's let that build up. Let's go to the front, the leading cars coming into commentator's corner now. The number 1 and 2, the white and orange, followed by, I'm not sure what color that would be. I think they called it seafoam green, but I think there's another car that has the Bianchi bicycle colors. But the number 1 car, the white and orange, that's Alessio Mazzeo. He's trying to get into the show. He was telling us yesterday, and we had a very good chat yesterday, and then we had an even better chat, actually, on the microphone, on the stream. He was saying his goal initially was to get on the podium for this week, so he's got a task ahead of him. First of all, to not be pressured by Sasha Klug, who is stuck like glue to his back bumper. I mean, first of all credit to Alessio for withstanding the incredible amount of pressure that Klug is putting on him. And just as much credit to Klug for following Alessio every turn, every corner, every braking and acceleration point on this track so far for 8 minutes almost. These guys have been stuck together. The battle for third has not developed. Tolinars has, at this pace, many laps before he's able to get back up to this sort of distance that we're watching now. So Klug in that number 2. And I wouldn't even call it, that's not even really the Bianchi green. It's, I don't know what color that is. I'm sure someone out there is a graphic designer, is a Pantone sort of color for this, but I wouldn't know what to call that. It's just sort of just an odd color, just a 2. But a little bit more space now between Mazzeo and Klug as they're coming into the Omega. So what Klug is hoping for here, at the moment, he's going to start 9th. If the race were to finish as across the start line now, or the finish line now, he actually bicycled up just a bit on that one. Alessio may have seen that out of the corner of his eye if he was paying attention. I don't know if what sort of peripheral vision these guys are using. Oh, number 10 pulls right over for him. Very good. Comes a complete stop, which can be a distraction. That might be why Klug has now lost several car lengths to Mazzeo. But what Klug is hoping for here, to get back to what I was saying, is that at the moment, if the race were to finish, he would start 9th in the semifinals. So number 1, he's getting a bit of practice in for the semifinals and practice on applying pressure to the car in front. But also, if Alessio were to succumb to that pressure, he would basically be starting in 8th in the semifinal, in his semifinal. So, but he's not making any dives or anything, so he's maybe he's also learning maybe Alessio's preferred line and his braking points and that sort of thing, learning how the driver head is driving their car. Just take a quick glance back. I think the battle for third is developing, so we're, maybe not. Tolinars just went up on 2 wheels and slowed right back down again. He's basically, the gap has suddenly jumped or doubled in size, so we'll stick with these guys for now. As we're just over halfway through this race, 10:30 down, 10:35 down, 9:25 to go. So on top of car setup, tire choice, engine tuning, dealing with the heat, and standing in one place for 20 minutes. Actually longer, because it's probably about more like 26, 27 minutes, so not far off half an hour. And concentrating super intently on your driving. You have to have the mental fortitude to withstand the level of pressure that Klug is trying to put on Mazzeo right now. So good morning, buenos dias from Spain. Thank you very much for watching. I know we've got Austrians, we have Swedes, we have Brazilians. We had a couple of American fans watching yesterday. So thank you to everybody who's joined the stream, whether live or just a bit delayed. We hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. We're watching the EFRA large-scale on-road European Championships. This is the 1/4 A final. And we are watching Alessio Mazzeo lead Sascha Klug around the... Oh, that's the first mistake I've seen from Klug. Apart from going up on 2 wheels a couple times around this corner right now, and he just did again there because it is very grippy there. If you walk on that, if you've ever been to a really dodgy pub, like really just a dive, either a dive bar or a student bar or something like that, and the carpets are sticky, and you're like, ugh, this place. That is what it's like walking on the racing line around this track. So these drivers have to really negotiate the brake in a straight line and turn just enough so that they don't actually get up on 2 wheels and traction roll or grip roll off of the racing line and onto the roof. So rubber side down, shiny side up. Klug clawing back some, couple of car lengths now. I didn't see any mistake from Mazzeo in these last couple of laps where he's made up that time. So it looked like he made up the time in the hairpin. So maybe he just outbraked Alessio. And it seems like he has the pace. Just going to give a quick look to our 3rd and 4th place racers. They're getting a little closer together, but nowhere near as close as Mazzeo and Klug. They're just a couple seconds apart. 1.5 seconds, according to the timing screen. The last time we came across, and I'll just have a quick look now. They're about to cross the timing loop now, and now 1.3 seconds apart now. So once that gets a little bit closer, so I was looking at the timing screen, it seems like Klug has made a slight mistake or gone a little wide or something, but he's gotten back the space again to Mazzeo as they're working their way through lap traffic once again, getting past the number 8 of Luca Rowley. 1 and 2 cars. We've been following them for quite a while. And another bit of a gap now as they're coming up on 3 more lapped cars. So let's follow them through this. So, yeah, past Rowley. And they're on the 6 of My Street. It lets them both through. Ooh, careful. Okay, and the next car is going to be the 5 of Domig. We just had a pass for 3rd place. So I think Itze made a mistake somewhere. Let's see where he's at. He's just coming around the 2nd hairpin now. So let's go to the first corner, Jude, and pick up Adam Itze. So off camera, Adam made a mistake somewhere, but he is definitely faster than Tolinars because he's already starting to make up the gap. He's just half a straight behind Tolinars. And there's 4 minutes left in this race. Oh, up on 2 wheels and over into the grass and into the wall. Oh, that is a nightmare. That is his 3rd place chances gone as his mechanic. If we pan left, we can see his mechanic running around the side of the track. only the driver's mechanic is allowed to touch the car, and the car's still running. That is his challenge over. So let's find the 4 of Tolinars going into the first corner now, into the hut corner, and into the infield, coming around the Omega and across the kink. That is Kevin Tolinars in the car 4. He is in third now. So behind him is Itse, but he's a lap down to Tolinars. The next racer is the car 5 of Domig, who is just gone onto the grass and a few cars ahead of Tolinars on track. So basically, that is our top 3 decided, unless something tragic happens to Tolinars. So we'll stick with Tolinars. The battle between, well, it's not really a battle, it's more of a follow the leader with Matseo and Klug is still ongoing. You could throw just a blanket right over them both. But we're going to follow Tolinars here because he's got 4 lapped cars to work himself through. And if he has a terrible time, that could let Domig catch right up to him. But I think Domig is in this group that he's trying to lap. So he's about to put Domig a lap down. If things continue as they are. Rowley goes on the grass in front of Tolinars. Tries to brake, isn't able to, straight lines it, and that lets Tolinars pass as he goes down the main straight now. So we're just following Tolinars, just in case something horrible happens to him. Not out of any desire to see that, but I think Domig, he's spun around on the grass twice in one lap, so there's no chance that Domig is going to be able to catch Tolinars. So let's go to our leaders. 1 and 2 just coming into the infield now. Turn 2. They're about to go into the Omega. That's Matseo and Klug. You can see Klug going slightly on the grass coming out of the kink. We've got a video of the track walk that will play in our live show. It's very interesting. Just walking around the track is very interesting. Track walks are always a good idea if you're a racer, so you can see where danger points and curbs that you should stay away from or curbs that you should try to hit, braking points and things like that. And just kicking at the tarmac will tell you a lot. So Matseo and Klug coming down the main straight. They've got less than 25 seconds, 20 seconds now. So I think this might be their last lap that they're on. No, they've got one more lap now, and they'll finish. Tolinars still way out ahead of Michael Donovan now. Domig lost so much time. He's dropped down to 7th. And all the other drivers are finished. And here comes Matseo and Klug into the pit. And there we go. That's our races decided. Our semifinals are set now. We've got Matseo, Klug, and Tolinars bumping up into the semifinals on the A side of the Christmas tree bracket. So, wow, pretty good race. So, let's see comments in the RC Racing TV YouTube chat. It's the most popular place for the comments to come from our viewers. So that's we only have so much screen space in the control tower. So that's what we're checking out. So yes, Matseo drives an RS5. He's one of the few racers, very few racers. I think there's literally 2 in the top 30 after qualifying that are running an RS5. There's a handful of MCD, a handful of Genius, the top one probably being Arnaldi from France, and most of the rest of the racers are running Mechatech, very large Mechatech team here. And yes, Matteo had a nice little chat with him yesterday on the stream. You can find it if you maybe watch it back later today after the final, and you can listen to not just Matteo but also current world champion Hessel Roskam was with us for quite a long time yesterday. Gave us so much insight on tuning and driving and what it's like to just do several bump ups at a time, and tire choices and engine pipe choice, all sorts of stuff. And the previous day, was it Thursday, we talked to Laszlo of Samba and Mocatech, and he gave us some really interesting insight on his journey with those brands. So all great stuff that you can catch up on the streams that we've done the past couple of days. So we'll just take a brief break now, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Oh, hi, ich bin Neo. Du suchst ferngesteuerte Modelle? Da bist du hier, genau richtig. RC Fox liefert dir eine mega Auswahl. Ich liebe es, im Dreck zu bashen, auf der Rennstrecke zu performen und Felswände zu erklimmen. Im Wasser bin ich zwar noch kein Pro, aber kurz davor. Wow, was macht denn mein Flieger da? Unser Chef bestellt Tag für Tag neue Ware. Und wer räumt's ein? Ich. Bei uns bekommt ihr die Produkte hunderter Hersteller, egal ob ihr Profis seid oder absolute Beginner. Karosserien, Farben, elektronisches Equipment, Akkus, Reifen. Hier gibt's einfach alles an Zubehör. Ob der Kunde weiß, dass es über 80 km/h fahren kann? Wenn nicht, ich mach sie mal vor.
Wow! Hey Neo, echt jetzt?
Sorry, aber hey, Freddy hat gesagt, ich muss Gas geben. Das Paket muss heute noch raus. Wir verschicken jeden Tag hunderte von Paketen, damit ihr schrauben, basteln und Spaß haben könnt. Ihr habt eine Frage oder es klappt was nicht wie gewünscht? Unser Serviceteam ist für dich da. So, jetzt kennt ihr uns. Wir aber euch noch nicht. Also, kommt vorbei. Oder besucht uns online unter www.rcfox.de.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, we are back. As you can see, we have cars on the track. And as you can see, they are not touring cars. This is the warm-up period for the Formula One semifinal B. So I'll be getting a printout of the racers that are in this. But I can read the names off for you at least. Car starting on pole will be Ernst Utz.
Oh, there's time.
And Tony Gilmarty in the car 2. Reinhard Marin in the 3. Nathan Breno in the 4. Tony Sealer, in the 5 car. Baz Jose Andres Hernandez in the 6 car, and car 7 will be Patrick Duport. So this being a semi-final, the top 4 racers in each of the semis will be going up into the main final. So that means that there will be 8 from the semis going into the main final. And we have a 10-car final, which means that the top 2 positions on the grid are already chosen. And that is Sebastian Marino and Saverio Rossignoli. Sebastian and Saverio qualifying directly into the final. So we'll have just a moment here. So, as you can see, you are watching with us from around the world the EFRA Large-Scale Track Euros 2022. As you can see, this is the F1 Semifinals B. And the cars are in the pits, about to start the formation lap. Just like, actually this is, I always say when they're doing the formation lap, I always say, just like a Formula One car. Formula One race. Well, these are Formula One cars about to run their semi-final. 7 cars. Starting with Ernst Utz, Tony Gilmarty, Reinhard Marin, Nathan Breno, Tony Sealer, Baz Jose Andres Hernandez, and Patrick Duport in the 7th spot. So, 4 cars are bumping up. So this is the first race where we're going to concentrate on the battle for 4th rather than the battle for 3rd, like we have been in the finals so far. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. This race actually is also a 25 minutes race. So this is the first race. Ooh, we have a dead car. Oh. What's happened here? The mechanic picked up the car. It's still running, so I'm not sure why he picked it up. You can see the Italian flag at the end of the straight dropping down, and as it lifts, they're off in number order. We do have a dead car, but we will let him catch up to the battle for 4th. Okay, so let's follow these 3 cars coming out of Omega right now and across the kink and into the first hairpin. Leading is that car 6, and then the 5, and then the 7. That is Hernandez, Seiler, and Duport. It's the car 4 that started off very late, so he'll probably start to catch up. This will be interesting to see what happens here. So the first 3 cars have already gapped this battle for 4th. So it's not, obviously there's only 7. Oh, and the 6. Hernandez goes wide onto the grass. So he's going to lose traction, so that makes the battle for 4. I was going to say, well, he's starting to pull away, but he's not now. He's starting to get caught. Let's see what happens as the grass is burned off of those warm tires. They do have tire warmers. So, and the 5 of Sealer putting some pressure on Hernandez as going into the second corner, into the infield and around the Omega. You can see the first 2 cars shooting away, or actually that's the second and third shooting away. The leader, Ernst, is well ahead of them by more than a straightaway. So let's see if Gilmarty and Marin can keep it clean, so they don't get so they don't slow themselves down and put themselves into harm's reach. So we had Sealer, and then Breno did a mistake going into the second hairpin. So they've lost a bit of time to Hernandez, who is in the bright yellow car there, coming across the kink into the first hairpin. So we've got a 3-car battle for 4th. And it looks like they're very slowly reeling in third car. Oh, stop and go for somebody. We didn't see what happened. Or I didn't see what happened. So no, it's a 2-car battle. So he's lost a handful of seconds there because he had to trundle down pit lane and then be held immobile until he was oh, tragedy. What has happened there? Hernandez going on, and that was, let's see the car number, the car 4 of Breno. So now we've got a big gaps between. This is kind of what I was hoping wouldn't happen, was we have 25 minutes of very large gaps between the top 5 cars. But it looks like we are already there. So we've got Ernst Utz in the number 1 car. He's already into the infield. Second and third of Gilmarty and Marin have crossed the line. Hernandez has just crossed the line. The next car behind is car 5 in the Alpine of Sealer, who's 5 seconds behind. So the battle for 4th is non-existent at the moment. So we'll regather. First, second, third. Second and third are getting closer. It's not too much of a concern, though. So let's, where is the car 1? Where did he go? He must be even further ahead than I thought of these guys. There we go. Coming into the commentator's corner now. So it's the other bright yellow car with the yellow wheels. We have 2 fluorescent yellow cars. One in first place and one in 4th place. At the moment, they're both bumping up. So 2 Buzz and Hornets styled Jordan-inspired cars. As that's our leader, Utz, about to put a lap on, I think that's the car 4 of Breno, who was challenging for 4th place, but spun off at the first turn. So Utz with the bright yellow wheels, way ahead. He's 11.7 seconds ahead of second place Gilmarty. The battle for 3rd is in progress. Sealer in 5th is 3 seconds behind Hernandez, who is the other bright yellow car with the white wheels that we were following previously. Oh, I missed this. That's number 4 of that we were following of Breno, stuck together with the car 7 of Duport, but they're at the back of the field. So we're with this is the car 6, 4th place racer of Hernandez from Spain. Let's stick with him for a little bit because I think Sealer is very slowly catching him. Sealer has just been lapped by the leader, Utz. Ooh, little mistake there. An unsuccessful track cut, either intentional or not. And Hernandez is about to get passed by Utz to put him a lap down. And Sealer is just behind. So Utz is the second of these yellow cars. Hernandez needs to let him by. There he goes. He brakes very heavily into the first corner, which lets... Okay, now we have a battle for 4th. The last 2 cars going into the Omega now and across the kink and into the first hairpin. The bright yellow and then the Alpine-inspired car. Just call it an Alpine, may as well. These are the last of these 4 cars. So the number 3 ahead... Wait, is that... That's actually 3rd place. So this is the battle for 3rd, is 3 cars of Marin, Hernandez, and Sealer. As you can see on the timing at the top right of your screen. So now I'm sure the mechanics have told the other cars, the drivers on the stand, okay, the guy behind you, that's 4th place, and the guy behind him is 5th. You're all on the same lap. This is a battle. So Marin from Austria, Hernandez from Spain, and Sealer from France. 3 different countries, 3 different paint schemes, luckily. We have kind of the Marin with the racing, the RC racing in sort of, oh, and the Alpine goes over. Nightmare. So that is his battle done for the moment, or several moments, as the car cut. I think you're allowed just 1 or 2 attempts on the pull starter. So that's that. Well, so let's go to the battle for 3rd, because that is a proper battle. Coming down the main straight now, going in the first corner. Unfortunate for Sealer in that 5, and he's off again on the grass. So shaken and stirred, and he's off in the grass again. So something has gone terribly, terribly wrong with that car now. And that is properly, his battle is over. And it looks like the mechanic is, he's been told, all right, that's it, just pull it off. Yeah, that is, that's racing sometimes. We've got Ernst, Utz, Tony Gilmartin in 2nd in the 2 car, Reinhard Martin in the 3rd, in the 3, and we are following the 4th place car of Hernandez in the number 6. Just ahead of him is 3rd place. So this is a battle for 3rd, but we're following the yellow car, because if something happens to him, and we have seen several cars, as we've just seen, we've seen Seiler, who has abandoned, or retired, I should say. I'm watching a lot of cycling these days, so abandoned is the term in cycling. But, yeah, a little closer now on the battle for 3rd between Marin and Hernandez. Now, the interesting thing here is, are they going to battle? Because, I mean, Hernandez is clearly faster. And he is, well, he went for a pass. He's going for another pass. And again, in the same corner. So this is, yeah, a developing battle. So if one of them, I mean, these are open wheel cars. So if they get side to side, they could very easily flip one or both of them over. We've seen that happen even with the touring cars. And Breno is about a half a lap behind. So if they really slow each other down, or both crash, or one crash, that could, oh, there we go, see? Now they both had to slow down for that. And then Marin hits a curb because he's been thrown off his rhythm. It's all about rhythm and pace and setup. As they're coming across the kink into the first hairpin, into the second hairpin, going a bit, very wide for Hernandez, losing a car length or 2. So Breno in the car 4 in 5th place is made up a little bit of time. They're all lapped by the leader, so I can't see the actual distance between the cars themselves. But visibly on track, Marin, in the only white car out there, has made up some time on these two. So if they get close again, but I think whatever Hernandez has prepped his car, it's just set up just a bit better, or he's driving a bit smoother. I think we have a car coming out of pit lane now. It's Seiler. He's coming back out, but he goes straight under the marbles to let cars pass, because it's what you have to do when you're about 10 laps down, which is just going to make him slower and slower. So more for pride than anything, I'm sure. You want to finish your final in a running vehicle, which you can certainly understand. But we're on this battle for third between Hernandez and Marin. And as far as the bump up goes, it doesn't really matter too much which order they finish, as long as they both finish in the top 4. So the top 4 at the moment, the bump up spots with 12 and a half minutes. Yeah, we're over the halfway point now with 12 minutes and, well, about 12 minutes now. 12 minutes remaining in this race, 25-minute semifinal for the Formula One class. We've got Ernst Utz in the first position, well ahead of Tony Hilmarty. Ooh. Nathan Breno getting up on 2 wheels. That's not going to be a very fast lap for him. And it wasn't. 20.8 instead of the usual 20.3s for we're seeing on most of the cars in his area. Hernandez, the number 6 car that we're following, in 3rd position. Marin in the 3 car, who's 2 cars behind, no, just behind, the first car behind Hernandez, with the bright yellow and the white wheels. The bright yellow with yellow wheels car is our leader. So let's follow him for a bit. Let's follow the first of the yellow cars. Just going across the kink now. This is Ernst Utz from Germany. Give him a bit of love, as he's giving us a bit of love with the heart sticker on both sides of the engine cover. That's how nice. So we have Utz, Hilmarty. Ooh, Utz having a little bit of a bother with the car 7 of Duport. So thank you, Carlos, for the correction on Tony's last name. I know the J is silent. I didn't know the G is also silent. Or maybe it's just in this case. So Utz, loads of clear space ahead of him on the track. He's got pretty much a half a lap ahead of him, is completely clear. It's as if, you know, when you're racing these things, you use your peripheral vision. You're looking at your front wheels and maybe gauging how much smoke is coming out of the back to make sure your engine's running rich enough so it doesn't explode. And he's got loads of clear track behind, ahead of him. So nothing to distract him unless someone crashes. Let's drop back to the first corner. Let's hold there for, this is Hernandez and Marin. Our battle for third has come close again. Marin able to get right back up on the rear diffuser. Yes, there is an actual working rear diffuser on these cars, in addition to the front and rear wings. Adjustable rear wing, and I believe the front wings are adjustable as well on the mounts. Flexible plastic front wings like you'd find on 1/8 nitro buggies, or just, well, 1/8 buggies and truggies in general. That's just because it's the only thing that's going to contact another car or a barrier. So you need something a bit flexible, and you can adjust the angle on them. And the rear wings also, there are 2 elements on them, I believe. And the main element you can adjust to make more or less angle of attack. So these guys pretty close together. And I think, is that, no, that's a Red Bull car behind them. The car 7. No, sorry, the car 2 of Hilmarty. So they're about to get lapped by second place. Oh, Marin going a bit wide there, making it a little bit too easy for Hernandez in the yellow car. Marin running the what I call the swooshy swishy racing RC racing type scheme. Most of the cars in this class are running replica paint schemes. Hernandez under pressure now, increasingly from Marin. I don't think he was aware at that moment that he has second place behind him, but he is aware now because he's let him by. So good racing. They do have a referee basically giving them verbal blue flags. There's no actual blue flags. Okay, and Hernandez lets Hilmarty past. And now, battle is rejoined for third. Oh, and Hernandez getting caught up in the kink. Oh, and that is our battle for fourth right there. That is Breno, Nathan Breno in the white car. Number 4 has just passed. So now he is in fourth and Hernandez is in fifth. So this is our battle for bump up. The white car and the yellow car with the white wheels. That is our battle. Oh, and there is Marin in the third spot. So we got third, fourth, and fifth all together on track, going down the main straight now. So this is it. That fourth car is the final bump up. If the flag were to drop this very second, it's only the number 3 and the number 4 that would be in the third and fourth place bump ups. And who has just crashed? Oh, that was Hernandez. Tragedy. Flips over and engine cut. So the marshal's out there trying to restart. You can just see him there. And we're back on the battle for, I think this is third now, between third and number 3 and 4. Hernandez now a lap down. So as quick as that, the battle developed for fourth, and the battle has ended. So that is 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I don't think Hernandez is going to be quick enough to be able to, he's just ahead of this battle. So we're not going to focus on the yellow car, but we'll focus on the, the 2 cars directly behind, because that is the battle for third. Hernandez, who we were watching in the yellow with the white wheels, was in that battle, and that battle has completely dissipated now. So tragedy for Hernandez. He could have been up there, but he could still make it, but there'd have to be some pretty bad crashes. He's going wide. Yes, so he's getting caught up. Oh, and crash for Breno. Hits him and knocks off his wheel. So now he's properly off. Engine is too hot for the mechanic to turn off. And that is his race done and dusted. So that is that. Breno now several seconds behind Marin. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. That's our bump up positions. Hernandez, he has retired and I think he was going for the wide line, and then he got hit by Breno because Breno wasn't sure what he was doing. That's the car 5 in the pits of Tony Sealer. He'd already come off and lost several laps. So that is pretty much the order set. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Utz, Hilmarty, Marin, and Breno. Hernandez now showing as retired. You can see the black mark next to his name, the black number. The second column is the car number. Sealer has gone back out. As you can see, he's crossed the start-finish line. So the only one who can really challenge is no one, because as you can see next to the driver names at the top right of the screen, immediately to the right of the driver names is the number of laps that they've done, and you can see that Breno has 62 laps, and Duport, who has just passed the number of laps that Hernandez had completed, has 58. So he's 4 laps down at least. That is our That is our, unless someone actually just breaks. That's our bump up positions decided for the final. But I won't make a note on the race printout yet, because anything can happen. This is racing. So we're on the leader, car 1 of Utz. And not far behind him, actually, is Hilmarty, but Hilmarty has been lapped. So he's actually a lap and a bit ahead of Hilmarty. Marin is a further 2 laps behind, and Breno is on the same lap as Marin. So those are literally the only 2 cars on anywhere near each other on the same lap, or Marin and Breno in the 3rd and 4th. Just a few seconds apart. So as long as they keep it on the black stuff, they'll be okay. So let's follow Hilmarty for a bit. He's just gone into the first corner, around Hut Corner, and he's going into the Omega now, and he's about to pass the number 7 of Duport, who just went on the grass. So he will be a bit squirrely for a few corners. Wow. I mean, the cool thing about these cars is that you can, as they're burning off the grass that is now stuck to his tires, you can see the grass coming off. It's so Hilmarty coming into the second hairpin now, running Red Bull inspired colors. Hilmarty from Spain. Not sure if he's running Red Bull just because he's a Max fan or a Marquez fan, or just a fan of the most recent world champion, or just a fan of Red Bull in general. Maybe he's a Vettel from several years ago fan, or a Weber fan. Not sure, but it's always interesting to talk to this guy. Oh, car 3 is just broken down right there in front of the second hairpin. That is Breno. No, that is Marin. So if he Duport is a few laps behind, but there's only 5 seconds left in the race, so there's no way he's going to be able to make up 4 laps in a handful of seconds. So I believe that is going to be Marin is fine. Hernandez and Sealer have both retired. Duport several laps down, and I think we're going to call it there. That is going to be Utz, Hilmarty, Breno, and Marin bumping up. And in just a few minutes, well, in about 15 minutes, we'll have the next semifinal. The semifinal A for 1/5 F1 out on track. That's going to be Carlos Fabregas, Andy Bloom, Maurizio Borsoni, Corentin Laville, Claudio Alberti, Carol Joan Fabregas. So both of the Fabregas team out there. And Mirko Tinti in the 7th position. So 7 cars each in each of these F1 semifinals. Not a huge field, but the top 4 are going to go into the final. The top 4 from each of the semifinals. 2 semifinals, top 4. That's 4 racers, so 8 bump ups, and they'll be joining Sebastian Marino and Saverio Rossignoli in the final. In their final. And that is going to be another 25-minute race, and that will be at 2 p.m. Central European Time. And then immediately, well, I say immediately, there'll be a short break, and at 3 p.m. Central European Time is the start of the touring car final. And we will have a live show starting very soon. So this stream will end that you're viewing on EFRA, Facebook or YouTube, Red RC, RC Racing TV, and Polestar TV. This stream will end and pick up with a live studio show that you can watch on EFRA, RC Racing TV, and Red RC. That will have some video inserts. We'll have Nick in the studio. He'll be joining us live, and lots of fun. So be sure and take part. So we'll end this one here and take a little break.
Oh, hi, ich bin Neo. Du suchst ferngesteuerte Modelle? Da bist du hier, genau richtig. RC Fox liefert dir eine mega Auswahl. Ich liebe es, im Dreck zu bashen, auf der Rennstrecke zu performen und Felswände zu erklimmen. Im Wasser bin ich zwar noch kein Pro, aber kurz davor. Wow, was macht mein Flieger da? Unser Chef bestellt Tag für Tag neue Ware. Und wer räumt's ein? Ich. Bei uns bekommt ihr die Produkte hunderter Hersteller, egal ob ihr Profis seid oder absolute Beginner. Karosserien, Farben, elektronisches Equipment, Akkus, Reifen. Hier gibt's einfach alles an Zubehör. Ob der Kunde weiß, dass es über 80 km/h fahren kann? Wenn nicht, ich mach sie mal vor.
Wow! Hey Neo, echt jetzt?
Sorry, aber hey, Freddy hat gesagt, ich muss Gas geben. Das Paket muss heute noch raus. Wir verschicken jeden Tag hunderte von Paketen, damit ihr schrauben, basteln und Spaß haben könnt. Ihr habt eine Frage oder es klappt was nicht wie gewünscht? Unser Serviceteam ist für dich da. So, jetzt kennt ihr uns. Wir aber euch noch nicht. Also, kommt vorbei. Oder besucht uns online unter www.rcfox.de.
All right, we are back with our coverage of the EFRA large-scale on-road European Championships in Fiorano, Italy. Thank you, everybody, for watching, whether you're on Pool Start TV, Red RC, RC Racing TV, or EFRA. Welcome, one and all. Don't forget to share this the stream link with your RC and non-RC friends, because how often do you see Formula One cars of this size racing? Well, I mean, apart from the full-size ones, how often do you see model versions of them this size, I should say, racing around the beautiful Fiorano mini car Autodromo Jody Scheckter, just about a mile or so from the actual Fiorano Ferrari test facility. So we've got the semi-final A of Formula One about to come out. They're doing their warm-up laps right now, as you can see. And as soon as they go into the pits, they will we'll play a little montage and follow the formation lap around. So we picked up a viewer in Australia. G'day, mate. And bom dia to our viewers in Brazil. Good morning to all of our English-speaking friends. Buenos dias, buongiorno, and bonjour for anyone watching elsewhere. And guten Morgen. Forgot that one. So they're about to come in, I think, now. So we just have a little break just for a second. Oh, sorry. Cars are being they come into the pits, final bit of refueling, because this is a 25-minute race. They shouldn't be in danger of running out of fuel, but we have seen it happen. Actually, a couple of our top racers had this stop running their qualifiers because their mechanics didn't refuel them after the warm-up laps. So, a bit of a schoolboy error there. Bit of confusion there. I mean, they've got massive numbers on the cars, so okay, they're out on their formation laps. And for anyone curious, in the shade at the moment, it's 37.7 degrees Celsius. So what these guys are doing, they're doing a formation lap just like Formula One full-size races. They'll drive around, position themselves on the grid. So unlike 10th scale, they don't have officials marching up and down the pit lane. They do make sure that they're in the correct, they're not too far forward in their position. So we're just a few seconds away from starting.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Okay, so we don't have live timing functioning at the moment, but I will keep you informed of what's happening. No, as we can see, everyone off to a decent start. Everyone in number order still, 1 through 7. And we're going to concentrate on this battle with the Sauber car, the 4th and 5th car. Looks like they're a little close at the moment. Obviously, this is the very start of the race, so anything can happen, as we've seen. One car going into the grass, and we see a pass for second. Okay, so the second car of Bloom has fallen back into 4th, or is 4th at the moment. So we're following this battle as we're coming around the... Yes, okay, so the blue and pink car is in 4th at the moment, being chased by the Red Bull car, the yellow-nosed... he's gotten past now, the 6 of Fabregas, Carol Joan Fabregas. We got Carol Carlos Fabregas in the lead. And he's got a good distance over the number 3 of Borsoni. And then it's the 6 of Carol Joan Fabregas, followed by Andy Bloom, who started second. So he's going to want his position back. You've got a number 2 in your car in your final. You don't want to finish any lower than 2, really. You want to finish, and wide into the first hairpin. Bloom gets, no, that's not Bloom. That's the car 7. It's a bit of a crash and bump going down the main straight. So that is okay. So the car's going into the first car's into the Omega. That's our battle for 4th, but it is a 4-car battle with the 4, 2, 7, and 5. Let me just try and get the timing screen operating here for so I can read off the names for you. Fabregas, Borsoni, Fabregas, Laville, Bloom, Alberti, and Tinti. Our current order. So things have shaken out a bit now. So let's follow this one car forward. The first car across the kink going into the first hairpin, the number 4 of Laville, followed by Bloom, Alberti, and Tinti, who've all just crossed behind. Fastest lap so far from Carol Joan Fabregas in 3rd with a 19.8. So we've got Fabregas, Borsoni, Fabregas, and Laville. We're following Laville with the Sauber-inspired, classic Sauber, I would say, I suppose. With Bloom in the BWT dark blue and pink behind, who's about to get challenged by Alberti. It's followed by Tinti. So, getting a bit spread out now. Ooh. Not great line there coming out of the kink for Laville. Getting a bit on the grass, and that lets Bloom catch up another few car lengths. So we're sticking with these, this 4th place. And as it develops, as Bloom in the car behind gets closer and closer, you can see them there in the same shot. And there again, in the second hairpin around commentator's corner. Laville. I'm going to be watching him very closely to see if he starts making mistakes and let Bloom get closer and closer. It looks like Bloom is catching, but going a bit wide in the first hairpin. And so any mistake that Laville seems to do, Bloom makes a very slight mistake that loses him any gained time. But Bloom does seem to be getting visibly closer. So the gap between them is currently, well, the last time they crossed the line, it was 1.4 seconds. Let's see what it is now. He's definitely gaining. And let's see if the timing loop proves me right. Oh no, he's lost time again now. I was watching the timing screen, so I'm not sure if Bloom went a bit wide on the last corner. Coming across the line again. 8.8 behind the leader and 11.3, so that is 2.7, I think. Very quick mental math. We have the timing screen that I can see is just shows the distance to the leader, not the distance to the car immediately ahead on track. So we'll see if this battle develops. Meanwhile, I'll keep an eye on that while we look for our leader, Carlos Fabregas, in the car 1. He's one of the Red Bull cars. He's coming into the first hairpin now and into the second hairpin. So the Red Bull car is immediately identifiable by that yellow nose and the yellow top to the engine cover. And in the bright light of the day, it's full sun out, very, well, almost non-existent cloud cover. Basically looks like a black car with yellow bits. So this is, no, we're trying to, Jude, we need to find, going into the Omega now and across the kink is our number 1 car. And there we are. It's into the second hairpin and commentator's corner. Running the classic Red Bull racing scheme. This is Carlos Fabregas. Fastest lap, 19.6. He's about to come up on Mirko Tinti and Claudio Alberti, who are having a battle to see who will finish in not last place. It's the battle for second to last, meaning the battle for 6. There's only 7 cars in this race. 7 cars in the last race as well, the the semifinal A. Fabregas slowly gaining on them. 17 minutes and 15 seconds left in this one. So we're trying to sort out the timing on screen for everybody. Meanwhile, I'll read off the order and the times. So the order at the moment, still Fabregas, Borsoni, the other Fabregas, Carl Joan Fabregas, and Corentin Laville. That's your bump-ups positions. I'm watching the car 4 of Laville, who has got Andy Bloom in the car 5 chasing him down. No major changes there. So we're just giving our leader, Carlos Fabregas, some screen time. And let's see, where is Borsoni in the 3? So wait there, Jude, and we'll let the yellow and gray car is our second car of Maurizio Borsoni. There he is, about to come up on the same lap cars that Carlos Fabregas just went through. No, you were on him, Jude. Already, he's coming around commentator's corner now, the car 5, yellow and gray with the white wheels. Second of the 2 cars going into first corner. You were already on him. Second car, 1 car back. There we are. That is Maurizio Borsoni in the second position in the car 3. I suppose from the position of the referee and drivers and our camera, our moving camera up on the driver's rostrum, the numbers that are half on the vertical part of the side pod and half on the horizontal side of the side pod, part of the side pod, it is easier to read. But for someone at sort of ground level, like I am, it is basically impossible to read. So you have to go by the color of the car. So Borsoni has passed the number 5 of Claudio Alberti. And he's moving on. So if we drop back 2 cars, is the other Red Bull car. There we go. that is the other Fabregas, Carol Joan Fabregas. In the car 6, doing pretty well, running in 3rd, moving up from the 6th position on the grid. So the early laps are always a bit hectic. And then we've got, we'll follow Carol Joan Fabregas for a few laps. We're approaching the halfway point. We've got 10:45 down and 14:15 to go. As Carol Joan is passing Claudio Alberti into that second corner. It looks a bit squirmy under braking. So I wonder if his maybe has too much front brake. Now, if you listened to yesterday's stream, and you can feel free to check it out later on today after the finals, we had current world champion Hessel Ross came in the control tower, and he was telling us all about how you can actually change the brake balance of the car as you're driving down the straight or at any other time, which is absolutely amazing. I don't think there's any other class of racing other than large scale that you're able to do that in, because there's at least on the Formula One cars, there's a single servo that controls the front and rear brakes. They're hydraulic disc brakes on all 4 tires, on all 4 wheels. So it's quite interesting to hear all of these technical details about the cars. It's one of these cars that I'd love to have, but to race at this level, to race and challenge as in the top 2 or 3 heats of the European Championships, you'll need to either sell a car or a kidney to be able to challenge for the lead. And of course, spend maybe a couple of decades perfecting your craft and talent. So we've been with Carol Joan Fabregas for several laps now. Let's see if we can find the car 4 of Corentin Leville. Where is he at? One of these cars coming out of the Karis, the Omega. He's into the first hairpin and the second hairpin. He's just passed the car 5 of Cloudy. Bloom doesn't seem to be making up any time on Leville. He's actually lost several tenths, a couple seconds or more to Leville. He's 3.5 seconds behind now. So still no challenge developing for the 4th and final bump-up position. It's all very spread out. But we're over halfway through the race. It's a 25-minute final. We've got 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go. So anything can happen. There's only 7 racers that started. They're all still running. The touring car finals that we've seen today have had 10 cars in them, so it's a little bit more crowded on the track. Good to see that all the cars are still running. We'd like to see more Formula One cars in the category at the European Championships. More is always better when it comes to RC racing. So we're following Corentin Leville in the 4th position. Still have Carol Carlos Fabregas in 1st, Maurizio Borsoni in 2nd, Carol Joan Fabregas in 3rd, Corentin Leville, who we're on screen with, in the 4th position. Getting a little squirrely coming off the kink. So if we drop back, just hold at the end of the straight, Jude, and wait 2 cars. And the blue and pink car that's coming through the first turn now, that's Andy Bloom from the UK. From Austria. Sorry, I saw the U and I got a little bit mixed up there. This is Andy Bloom running. This is this year's Alpine car. And we had last year's Alpine car in replica car in the previous final. So Andy Bloom trying to make up some ground. Probably has been told by his mechanic, you know, you're losing space, but just keep going at the pace you're going. Actually, I tell a lie. Probably hasn't been told that, because I've talked to a couple of the top racers, and they actually don't like to have too much or very much communication with their mechanics. It just distracts them. So when you hear things like, "Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing," very famous quote from Kimi Räikkönen, or, you know, "Just let me drive, man," from Lewis Hamilton. That's pretty much the same with these guys. But I had an interesting chat earlier with Dario Vaselli. I think he's a top MCD racer in touring car. He was saying he actually is able to glance up at the massive timing screen that's to the left of our shot. And you can actually see where you're at. And maybe even the gap that you've got to the racers ahead and behind. So and he does ask his dad, who is his mechanic, what you know, how things are going sometimes. But not a lot of actual radio communication. Although the mechanic does act as a spotter, so if there's a crashed car at the end of the straight or coming into the hairpins, which we are right now, as Andy looking to put a lap on Claudio Alberti. That took a very long time for him to actually get in range. This race is very, very spread out, so we're going to be able to show Mirko Tinti in the 7 car. Where is he at? He's the white and yellow car. If we go to the second hairpin, we can pick up Mirko coming around commentator's corner now. Most of the cars, the top 5 cars, all in the same lap. Carlos Fabregas has already lapped Claudio Alberti and Mirko, who we're following now. So very spread out. There's 7 minutes left in this one. So while we've got a bit of time before waiting for any battles to develop, as Mirko is letting who's that? 3rd place and 4th place pass. I think we do. No, we don't. No, it is a battle. 3rd and 4th are together on track, but they're not trying to get past each other too much. But if we go, Jude, if we go to commentator's corner, the 2 cars next over it and going down the main straight now, that's 3rd, and that's 4th. So they are together on track, and we'll see if this gets interesting here, because we've got Carol Joan Fabregas and Corentin Laville, 3rd and 4th. It's on screen now. And, okay, so just getting some notes from our producer in the control tower. So we've got our battle for 3rd, a developing battle. Let's see if Carol Joan Fabregas can withstand the pressure. I'm sure he's been told that car directly behind you, who's just gone really wide out of the last corner. That car directly behind you is 4th position. You are in 3rd. This is a battle. Oh, and a flip from Fabregas. I can hear him. He's taken off now, so that is a pass by virtue of a crash by Carol Joan Fabregas, and it is LaVille who is now in third. Now in the semifinals, which is what this is, 4 cars bump up. So Fabregas still okay to bump up. I'm just going to see if let's go to the end of the yellow and dark colored car, followed by the blue and pink car in the Omega. I believe that's our battle for 4th now. No, it's not. That's our leader, followed by Andy Bloom. But the blue and pink car is our 5th place car. 4 minutes remaining in this one. Okay, so let's see who we're following. We've got Andy Bloom is the main car that we're following, the blue and pink. Just ahead of him is the leader, Carlos Fabregas, and ahead of him is Carol Joan Fabregas. So let's move up 2 cars, Jude, to the first hairpin. There we go. That is Carol Joan Fabregas in the 4th position. And he's trying to put a lap on, I think, that is the number 4 of LaVille. So this is actually a battle as well. So this is still the working battle for 3rd. So we'll keep an eye on this. But the more important thing that we're trying to discern here is if... Oh, and Andy Bloom has a massive crash in the 2nd corner. So that's pretty much it. Okay. So that's our battle for 4th decided. This is our battle for 3rd. And you can see the marshal running, or the mechanic running to the stricken upside down crash car of Bloom. So unfortunate for the Austrian, but that does clear Carol Joan Fabregas of any pressure from behind. And he's going to see if he can put some pressure on LaVille just ahead. And we've got 2¼ minutes left in this one. Oh, looks like a mistake there from Fabregas, I believe. No, sorry, a mistake from LaVille that I missed while trying to check out the timing for you guys. I do apologize for the lack of live timing at the moment. We are working very hard to sort that out behind the scenes. Some very clever people, cleverer than me, are working on that. 1:45 left now. We've got Carlos Fabregas, Maurizio Borsoni in 2nd, Carol Joan Fabregas back into 3rd, and Corentin LaVille in 4th. Andy Bloom is a lap down from LaVille. So no challenge for 4th position. 1 through 4 bump up. 1:25 left in this one. Immediately after this race, we're going to go into our live studio show. So just hang around on whatever system that you're watching us on, whatever channel or Facebook page, and just smash that refresh button and you'll see another stream start. That is our live studio show. And we're following... We've got less than a minute left. Are we on the number 1 car? We are on the number 6 car, I believe, followed by the number 1 car. So let's drop back 1 car to the leader, Carlos Fabregas, who's going to take this win. I think he's got this lap and 1 more. And he's behind Carol Joan Fabregas. This is not a battle. This is the leading car working on lapping the 3rd place car. So not a battle. A 25-minute race and 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left now. And drivers are being told that as well. 5 seconds. And time has expired. 4th place has come across the line to claim 4th. 5th is also finished. So that is it. So we're going to have Carlos Fabregas in taking the win, and bumping up Maurizio Borsoni also bumping up. Carol Joan Fabregas bumping up. And Corentin Laville into the final. And our leaders just run out of petrol. But everyone else is finished, so that he's still going to have the 75 laps. Not going to claim 76. So that is it. We will be back with the live show. We're going to end the stream right now, and we'll be back very shortly.